There are all types of divorce, and a lot of people just want to get it over. But how fast can you do that? We're going to talk to attorney Joryn Jenkins about that today. She's written several books on relationships, divorce, etc., and we're going to talk about that today with her. Joryn, good to have you with us on the program.
Thanks, Bob. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while since we spoke. Remember the days in Las Vegas where you could, people from L.A. or really all over the country could go and get what was called a quickie divorce in those days. Things have changed quite a bit, but tell us about some of the parameters for a quick divorce.
Well, if you already know what you want and you've got agreement, then you're good to go. That's probably the best way to put it. The easiest way to put it. I do a thing called divorce in a day, and it is literally divorce in a day, but it's not like you tell your spouse you want a divorce and at the end of the day you're divorced. That's not exactly how it works.
Right.
You have to have conversations, and so everybody has got to be able to figure that out. What I'm saying, divorce in a day, is I'm saying, you've talked, you know what the issues are, you go to a financial consultant who's trained in this kind of stuff. Maybe each of you meets with that person separately, and that guy suggests ideas to you for how to work things out. You go back, you have some more conversations, and eventually what you do is you all sit down with a couple of lawyers and you hash the rest out in a day, and you go from beginning to end. At the end of the day, you've got a marital settlement agreement, what we call in Florida a marital settlement agreement. You still have to go to court, but the nice thing about that kind of agreement is that basically the court knows that you've already done all the hard work, and so you file your petition at the same time as you file your agreement, and all you have to do is get on the calendar so the court can take a look at your agreement and go, oh, yeah, this is great. Good job, guys.
Right.
I'll sign that divorce decree.
Right, etc. Yeah, and so you almost have to be, would you call it a friendly divorce? Because it sounds like you have to be in agreement on most stuff before you do this. So.
Well, ultimately, you have to be in agreement, like it or not. I mean, lots of people go to mediation, and the joke about a good mediation is nobody leaves happy. That's the joke.
Right.
I'm a mediator, and it's true. Nobody gets 100% of what they want in any divorce. Come on. I mean, sometimes what you really want in a good divorce is never to have been married. It just doesn't work that way. But you can have a good divorce in the sense that you hash things out. One of the things that I've noticed about people, and this is unfortunate, but when people are stressed, they think they want certain things. Like, for example, the example I give all the time, because it's actually happened several times in my 42-year career. I've had women especially who want the house. Why do they want the house? Because it's security, it's safety, it's the kids have been there forever. They have tons of reasons for wanting the house, but when push comes to shove, they can't afford the house. But no matter what I say, they want the house. Well, they want the house because they're stressed. When they come back to their senses and have time to really think about it, they realize they could get a less expensive place in the same neighborhood that's just as safe, et cetera, satisfies all their needs, but is not, quote, the house.
Right.
I've had clients come back to me after years, because I call them and, we get together, we have a glass of wine, we have a cup of coffee.
Sure.
And I've had several who've said to me, Joryn, I wish I'd listened to you. You were right, and I was wrong. It took me years to figure out it's because we can't make good decisions when we're stressed. So a good divorce is where you damp down the stress and you make your decisions in as stressless an environment as you can. So a good way to make a good decision is to get yourself into a happy place in your mind. Think about what it's going to be like in 5 years when you're no longer married. What's that going to look like for you? And then you can make good decisions because you're in a good frame of mind. That's why we always call it that. It's a good frame of mind.
Yeah, it's very important. Have you ever talked people out of divorce? Like, War of the Roses, where they were, that movie where they were trying to, Danny DeVito was trying to talk his client out of it kind of thing.
I've had 3 clients come to me who I referred to counseling. I regularly refer clients to marriage counseling if they haven't been yet. But I've had 3 couples who actually went and did not get divorced.
Well, that's positive. That had to make you feel good, didn't it? I mean, I'm sure you...
Bob, I've had folks, when I was doing their divorce collaboratively, I've had them learn to communicate so much better during the process that they reconciled.
Great. Yeah. And boy, and so many times it is a communication issue, isn't it, with couples, isn't it?
People say it's always the finances. Well, they're not wrong. Many times it's the finances, but many times it's the communication. Again, it's a stress problem. You can't hear people when you're too stressed to hear them. You can't explain well when you're too stressed to explain. And so, if you're caught up in some kind of financial crisis, well, that turns into a communication problem too.
Yeah, communication is certainly the key. Joryn Jenkins, good to talk to you, and I want to give your website as well, which is openpalmlaw.com.